That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we are live. Hi, guys and girls. Gareth everyone I'm 7 here. Welcome to today's video, live stream. We're joined by Adam Osmahuvian. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. How are we all doing tonight?
Awesome stuff. So we're going to be talking about the recent season 10 box set.
There it is.
Oh, look at it in all its glory. So we're going to be talking about the stories, all the special features, and much more. So, if you are watching this, and even if you're watching it post the live stream, feel free to let us know what you think of the box set, your favourite stories, your favourite special features from the new set, on all that great stuff. How long have you had the box set for then, Adam? Mine came quite quick.
Yeah, I decided. Well, I did not order it for a reason. Like the reason I didn't order it was I thought my mate works at HMV, and I thought, and I asked him. I was like, "How many copies can you get in?" And he said like 4. And I thought, actually, do you know what? Because I like picking up stuff from the shops. Like I think there's a lot of people order and do and for other products do like the digital download thing. But I thought I kind of want to get it, and considering it's like a limited edition sort of precious little item. You always want to go and make sure you want to pick it out and make sure it looks all right. Make sure that the quality control is up to scratch, and it absolutely was. It was all that. So I've had mine since Monday. I picked it up on release day. I sort of decided to make a day of having the release, go up to HMV, see my friend Adam from the Geeks Handbag, and we both bought the box set together. It was really cool. And since Monday, I've been binge watching lots of stuff on the box set, whether it's the stories, but extras, everything. I've also spent a day like staring at the box set, so not even like watching it. I've just been looking at it because it's just modern life. It's wonderful. I've pretty much done that for the other box sets as well. I've spent a day just being like, look at Tom Baker and Peter Davison.
Yeah, I get that because I haven't done a day, but you kind of when I came out the packaging, like I do photos like social media, and I was just there for 5 minutes going like, "This is glorious, this is beautiful." But obviously when you open it inside, it's like a jigsaw, like brilliant. So this is the leaflet it comes with. Now this is my replacement copy. So I did an unboxing video for it, and a lot of people pointed out on that and on Twitter social media stuff that the front 2 pages are missing. So basically, the other one's over there. This is a new one. That didn't have this page with Don and Casey, and then also on the back, it didn't have the bonus disc page. So didn't have any of that at all. But luckily, BBC Replacement sent me a replacement. The service I knew nothing about. It was really, really cool. So that is that. But I got to actually keep the unique version of it, which might be quite rare because I've not heard anybody else have that same issue. Like, is a really rare misprint. So if I don't obviously won't be selling the box anytime soon, but if it does come to that, then I'll send to sort of that. So we're talking about the BFI screening because me and Anne both went to that first of all, and then we'll be looking at the box set or sort of thing, and then the episodes, and then all the lovely special feature stuff. Everybody join again. Please let us know in the comment section below or the live stream comment section what your favourite stories are, favourite special features, etc. We had the BFI screening, anything to do with season 10. Let me know. So the BFI screening, the date escapes me, but it was a Saturday, a few weeks ago. Was it 9 months ago? Wasn't it? Gosh, I can't remember.
It's been a month ago.
That is insane. It only feels like yesterday. They were up in London doing that. There's a screening of Planet the Daleks with the new updated special effects. Probably talk about the special effects a bit later. What was your favourite memories about the day, like with Katie Manning and all that stuff, Adam?
Oh my god! Like, the BFI event definitely was like a whopper event. We sort of had our introduction bit, then we had like 3 episodes, a comfort break, then another 3 episodes, a Q&A, and then we saw bits of the extras as well. We had a giveaway as well. There's like lots of really good stuff. And Katie Manning really was the glue of the event. She was absolutely wonderful, giving incredible anecdotes and just being hilarious as well. It's like just seeing Joe Grant doing stand up. It's absolutely magnificent and wonderful. And what she said about Doctor Who fans, and I think Katie Manning is one of the best ambassadors that Doctor's ever had for the show. She really, both for classic and modern audiences as well. I think there's a kind of glue there, and I don't think there's any. I don't feel there's like any sort of separation between those who watch it now, those who are brought up with it now and those who brought up with it then. She's wonderful for all that and more. Really, it's fantastic for Planet of the Daleks itself. Yeah, it's quite interesting because I'd say for us, we did the first of the BFI screenings. We did an omnibus, and then the rest have been 4 parts. But this is a 6-parter, which is interesting how they structured the event, as we'd have 3 break and then another 3. And of course, this was chosen because because of the special effects of they wanted to show off the new special effects, which were marvelous, as you say. We'll get into that later. It was quite nice, and I guess also because Daleks, come to the BFI, you'll see some Daleks,
That's a pretty guarantee, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what people like about Doctor Who, the Daleks. So I absolutely understand why I chose that. One thing I would have quite liked to see, sort of jumping a little bit ahead, was the omnibus for the Green Death, which I did watch, and I'll go into detail later. But I thought, as that was Joe Grant's leaving story, because Katie Manning did sort of reflect on sort of that leaving period as well, because it was her final season. So she gave a lot about that, and there's lots of stuff she talks about in the Keeping Up with the Joneses thing, which you sort of bit off as well. That was great, seeing a little bit of that, a little bit of the behind the scenes of the 3 Doctors, and the Doctor and the Third Man documentary as well. Yeah, it was all cool and amazing social. Like, more Whovies you can shake a stick at. It was absolutely. I love that. Like, afterwards, it's amazing, and it feels, it's like you don't want it to go. Like, you don't want that time to go because you just enjoy yourself so much. But there's time where these people start leaving because they got to catch trains and buses and wherever they have to go back to their normal places. It's like the 3 Doctors are just like returning into our normal place and time.
the ultimate crossover, yeah. Perfectly stunned about it. You took all the stuff out. Kate was great. She did the Q&A. She actually was kind of running up the aisles and actually taking questions, and so energetic. But yeah, I completely agree. She does bridge the news series and past series really lovely. She shouted I got a shout out for my trilogy for the BFI screen, which was absolutely mental. And like, Adam was sat next to me. I remember you being like, and I was a bit like kind of starstruck, and you were like, "Stand up."
You're just like, no. I think you should put it out, and you should claim it because it's your moment in the spotlight. They put it on you, and it's attention that's absolutely deserved. It was a marvelous trailer, and I'm just happy they managed to see it. And it was all good.
Yeah,
and also, I feel bad for interrupting.
A
shout out to your trailer, which was marvelous, and of course Benjamin Cook's actual season 10 trailer, which we got to see for the first time at that event, was they're both marvelous and perfectly encapsulates that era, as well as your recent season 10 trailer as well. There's lots of amazing trailers for season 10 because I've got to talk about season 10. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably a season that I don't know. Like, I really like the season, and I didn't know. It's one of those seasons that never like came to my head as my favorite. But you kind of forget how amazing it is, but it is just amazing.
Yeah, I think I've only realised since I've had the box set how much it is an amazing season of story wise. Like, I was trying to think, I was writing a kind of not notes for the review, but sort of listening to the episodes and looking at them going, bloody hell! Like, the only one is Frontier in Space, which is too long, but it's not a bad story. Like, there's not one bad story in this. I don't think they're all explosive. Well, apart from Frontier in Space, they're all exceptional kind of stories. They're all memorable classics in my eye, anyway. So, but I didn't realise that until I sort of, again, like you guys, look at the box and going, holy moly. I was going to talk about the trailers, but I think we'll bring that to now. Actually, it's quite a good time before we get into like the episodes and the box set itself. So the first official trailer we got was with Joe Grant and on-screen / real life husband, who starred in The Green Death with her, and it's kind of like a sort of mini adventure of them going around as a team in Bessie and sorting out adventures. And if they do any more John Pertwee stories, I really do hope that they actually sort of carry on that little trend of that. But yeah, what was your reaction, Adam, to when that trailer dropped and we saw Katie back in action?
It's really cool. It's one of those things reminded me of the Tegan Jovanka one where they effortlessly slip back into character. It really does feel like the character's never left them, and it's one of those nice, marvelous things. And she's wonderful, as is Stuart Bevan as Clifford. That's all really good. Going back to Whole Wheel, yeah.
Oh yes, that's it, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Whole Wheel, and then the magazine. It's really nice. It's a nice sort of, and also they did that while they're doing the Keeping Up with the Joneses thing. It was a great thing to do, and yeah, just having that image of Katie and Stuart in Bessie is really cool and sort of brings in a lot of nice 70s nostalgia.
Fantastic. I thought we would mention a comment now which kind of relates to Joe Gran. David Who says Joe Gran was my father's favourite companion. Needless to say, Katie Mann sounds just like the character she played. Yeah, she is one of those kind of actors which kind of blends with the character. Like, it's a bit like Tom Baker. Like, I don't see like a difference between the actor and the real life person that plays them. It's quite funny how certain people do that. So yeah, that was a brilliant little trailer. And also, again, we got the cinematic trailer by Benjamin Cook, which was a Bond-esque style one. But when it was played in the cinema, it was really nice to. I was like, it was the most unique one I think they've done, but the most cinematic, which gets kind of like a sort of singing popular song in it. And the title cards, and it was really lovely because I could hear Katie going like, "Oh wow," and she was like, you could hear her like live reaction. Did you hear that, Adam?
Yeah, that was like marvelous to hear.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, and it was just like just added to it. So yeah, so those are the sort of two trailers to do with it. So that's all kind of the pre stuff. Let's get into the box set. So here it is. John Pertwee in his glory. I know I've already done an unboxing video. You can watch that in full on my channel. I'm just going to do like a quick overview. Awesome work by our good friend Lee Binding. Really fantastic, amazing stuff. Really outdoes himself. Again, the kind of tone of the series he really encapsulates on this box set. It's fantastic. On the back, you got the TARDIS going through the Dark Dimension through the Three Doctors. And I think that's a strip from Frontier in Space. It kind of blends the two ideas. But inside, if I could open it, we've got a really nice thing with Katie Manning outside the Tartan planet of the Daleks. And open it up as well. You got the sort of another image of them two in. This is why you do it edited so you can see us on. So that's a really nice image. Open it up. Got the TARDIS. Look at. It's like those kind of dolls where it just keeps opening up. Basically, there's the TARDIS there. There's a really nice picture of Hartnell there, which is super cool. And obviously then you've got all the discs in here, etc., etc. So, do you have a favourite, Adam, of like all the ones Lee Binding's done, or are they just kind of like all amazing? I think that like
In terms of the disc, I'm just proud of the fact that the Cleaner Lady Pertwee is on the Green Death disc.
that was a nice surprise. That was really
Actually, well, oh my god, what probably would have split my sides? I mean, that split my sides. What would split my sides? If it's a hybrid of the Cleaner Lady, but also the Milkman, because he goes in as a milkman as well in that story, and I just thought, oh, that would have been perfect. And actually, what sort of season 10 reminds me is that John Pertwee does a few sort of showman-y like impressions, like in Carnival of Monsters, he does this kind of showman like roll up.
Yeah.
And then he does the Milkman in the Green Death, and then of course the Cleaner Lady, and he's hilarious. And of course, this was John Pertwee's first straight role, but then he does bring that sort of comedy into it a little bit in sprinkles that we're kind of used to as well.
Yeah, I think it's obviously cool. You kind of established obviously it's not. It's really quite, as you say, have that that kind of comedy side, which he's obviously known for and most done, kind of sneak in. I watched some bits of the Green Death on a rewatch. I'm going to watch the omnibus hopefully this weekend at some point. But yeah, I rewatched that scene with the Millmans. The security guard's so rude. It's such a funny little scene. But yeah, it's great to see him actually. So the first story we have is the Three Doctors of this season. 5 stories. The first being the first multi-doctor series. First multi-doctor story with William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, and Pertwee. Sadly, William Hartnell could only do sort of like pre-recorded stuff because he was unwell. But in a weird way, I think it works better. Like there's such a great balance between John and Patrick Troughton in the story. I think it'd be weird to kind of put Hartnell in there as a kind of with them. I don't know if that would ruin that balance. Do you know what I mean? What do you think about that, Adam? Like, would you have actually liked to have seen Hartnell there, or do you think it works well in the TV?
I think he works well in the TV segments that we got, because sort of rewatching it back, you remember that he is in it a good amount. Like, I don't think they underuse him, and I don't think they overuse him. I think they use him a really good amount. So I think in that respect, it absolutely it works. And of course, due to circumstances, he couldn't, be on with Troughton and Pertwee. There's quite a nice reaction from the Brigadier, just like, who is that? And then the second Doctor going, I you wouldn't believe me. There's some really cool, nice moments, and he's part of the Contact, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, they managed to get him to do that, which is super cool. But yeah, this series, sorry, has so much stuff which it kind of sets up the next kind of thing of Doctor Who. Watching the Free Man, Doctor the Third Man documentary. It's a really great thing that Mark Gatiss is when they kind of were writing together Doctor. They look back at this story. Obviously, you've got Omega. It sets up more of the Time Lord stuff. There's this really kind of cool mythos which teases a bit more, and then obviously the Tom Baker where we explored more of the Time Lord stuff. We obviously get a great villain, obviously with Omega, who just works brilliantly. Like, he shouldn't really work because he's such like a kind of maniacal threat and just shouting and ranting. But you sympathise with him, you understand. The greatest villains are kind of the ones you understand their kind of mind process and their kind of thinking behind, obviously not just taking over the universe. So, what do you think of Omega, Adam?
Absolutely wonderful. And Stephen Thorne, again, like Azal, just gives it his absolute all and is marvelous. And you can tell that, it's a mask. It's a mask in a long cloak. That he injects it with such menace, but also subtlety as well. And one of my favorite lines is, "A hero, I should have been a god." Just incredible. Just he delivers it absolutely perfectly and gives it such presence and menace. And I think he's definitely one of the more memorable villains we've had. Like sort of one off, because he does the character does reappear in Arc of Infinity, I believe, played by a different actor.
I think so. Yeah.
It's definitely a different look for him. Yeah. And of course, I think there are some big finishes, but hasn't properly appeared in the canon really since then. But it is really the Three Doctors that is the sort of the pinnacle of all the Omega appearances.
Yes, a villain which has kind of stood the test of time, even though obviously appeared twice. And if they was to do him the new series, I think it'd be really cool to see another godlike being and how they do that with like new kind of special effects and maybe a mouth that moves as well. I don't know, that'd be a bit weird, but there we go. Let's get some comments in. David Who says the Three Doctors, wow, amazing writing idea. The writing comes off better than production, which is a very low budget. I wonder if the new effects make it any better. I don't think there's any new effects they've done for this story anyway. I think they've left it as it is. But obviously the most recognisable one, obviously the blobs. I thought they're called the blob. No, they're called something else, aren't they? But
Gel guards.
Oh god, there you go. But I know in the behind the sofa, like the cast are calling them blobs, like Jonathan was like blobs. And also the kind of antimatter stuff that's on the floor isn't great. But yeah, but the thing is, the story's so good you can look past that. I think anyway. Um, Jack says, I found John Poe and Patrick Troughton such a great comedy duo in that story. Yeah, if you watch the making of, they really didn't get an on issue because their kind of acting practices kind of clash. Like John Poe was very much just kind of like right when he stated the script, but Patrick Troughton was improv and that threw him off. Obviously, they became great friends, but it said initially that they were a bit like clashy, which did add in obviously to that kind of comedic angst against them, where it's like they're kind of not really liking each other, like which is fantastic. Yeah, any other mentions you want to make about the story, Adam?
I'm just trying to think. Actually, there was that really funny bit, sort of near the end of part 4, where they're kind of running. It's sort of John Pertwee sort of almost grabs Patrick Troughton's hand, but then
Oh yeah.
I was going, that's cool. Yeah, I think this is a wonderful 10th anniversary treat. I think it is my favorite multi-Doctor story and my favorite anniversary story, hands down. Just because of the villain, the idea of sort of the way they sort of describe antimatter as well. Because I think and all that kind of scientific jargon, I think is that kind of sort of, I guess, educational aspect is kind of done very well. What sort of antimatter, black holes and all that kind of thing is really good as well. Nice set design actually as well. I'll give it that. And even though you have the blobby monsters, I don't know, they're quite iconic. I quite like the claw that they have as well. I think that's quite cool. The fact that they can set off many explosions. I think they kind of made the blobby monsters, kind of cool. And the 70s. Well, and just the script and the dialogue is wonderful. Bob Baker, Dave Martin, terrific. And it must have been hard for them to do that. And also Nicholas Courtney. Actually, Nicholas Courtney is one I want to give a shout out to because, of course, he's only 1 or 2 stories of this season, and he is just, I think, because of the situation, he reacts to every situation absolutely perfectly and spot on. Like the community is great. It's like, are you saying that we've landed on some kind of beach, and it just works off well of both John Perry and Patrick Troughton. And he's a character that just doesn't take no nonsense. He's a no nonsense kind of character, and the situations around them are so fantastic and wonderful and you still have him just being straight, and it's terrific performance.
Yeah, Nicholas Courtney's his reaction, and it's kind of the first time that the unit team get to see the Doctor's world. Obviously, they're used to just be on Earth fighting the monsters and villains that come to Earth, but it was cool to have that opportunity to kind of see them go through that. And also say Nicholas Courtney's just absolutely hilarious. His reaction's hilarious. Like,
and they go inside the TARDIS for the first time as well. So that's in those scenes inside the TARDIS is also wonderful because in the TARDIS, when he's in the TARDIS, he's just getting more and more impatient, and that's just hilarious.
Yeah, he's trying to pace up and down here, if I remember in the story quite rightly. Yeah. Really actually funny. Who Book says hello, hi. Are you going to London Film and Comic Con? Hopefully, yes. I plan to be. And a lot of people are like, Adam, you're going to London Film and Comic Con, maybe.
Yeah, probably as a gel guard. If you see a blobby a gel guard, you'll know it's me.
Stick out like a sore thumb, yeah. So yeah, 3 Doctors, best multi-Doctor story, sets up the next set of Doctor Who sort of 10 years and beyond. So yeah, really fantastic stuff. Carnival of Monsters. What a quirky story, which I feel is ahead of its time. I feel like in the age of like VR stuff, I think this would not be would really fit in quite well with like a new series storyline, like with VR. If they were going to do something similar. But obviously it's this machine where the showman, or showman and showwoman, have all these sort of different scenarios in, and people watch them, and it's quite a sick idea, but it fits perfectly kind of Robert Holmes's writing. Of course, got the famous Drashik, which I don't think. There he is. There's a Drashik there, just behind me, and all that great stuff. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the story, Adam?
Yeah, I think quirky is definitely a way of describing the story. It's done by Bob Holmes, and yeah, I just think it's marvelous kind of mini scope idea, and just kind of, I think it's sort. I like sort of them pulling sort of the pieces when they're on the ship, and you start to realize they're sort of looping. There's sort of a time loop, and that there's they like the passengers on the ship couldn't see that the silver sort of hexagonal shape, and that sort of actually led into, and it's only the Doctor and Joe that saw that, and then they sort of go in to the sort of the main sort of setting section of it, and then end up in the world of the dish rags. I mean, Drashigs. Yeah, and then where else? They go somewhere else. I think I can't. Oh my god, I can't remember.
Well, they
it's the ship, the Drashigs, and I think they, or maybe it's just memories playing games with me.
oh,
but
they go. I think they go inside the actual like sort of computer stuff a bit, like go inside the wires and.
It probably is just an extension, actually, but yeah, of that. So yeah, just brilliant. I remember actually when we were watching it that Michael Wisher is one of the I forgot their names, but one of the sort of
stuck up blokes, yeah,
stuck up blue alien blokes things, yeah. He's cool in that, and you go tell because Michael Wisher is just that voice. So iconic in throughout all the Doctor Who's. Drashig's amazing, really cool. I think like the effect whenever they I quite like the effects for the Drashigs. I think for '70s look really cool.
Yeah,
sort of give off the effect. I don't think they're too silly, and they appear a little bit in Frontier in Space as well, like at the beginning of episode 1.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
with Joe, the whole nightmare thing. It's like, oh, it's a Drashig. I was like, oh, yeah, I was quite no surprise. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Like I like the miniscope idea, and it's an idea that is, wonderfully explored. Quirky sci-fi, quirky. That's the thing. It definitely, it really is '70s quirky sci-fi. It absolutely sticks to it. It knows what it is, and it's an absolutely fun watch. And also Ian Marter, like who can forget that Ian Marter appears in this and gives a good old fight with John Pertwee, which is that's a sight to behold.
Yes, that's a fantastic fight scene. It's a bit like the kind of Fires of Pompeii for season 10, where it's like you obviously got Ian Marter, who obviously goes on to play Harry Sullivan in series 12, season 12, should I say? And then obviously with Michael Wisher going on to play Davros, like I know obviously he was in Doctor in the Best of Death and a few other stories. Like every time I see him in it, it's just like that is Davros. Like that voice is so distinct. So yeah, really kind of quirky idea, which if you took it out of context, it'd be really strange, but in the context of Doctor Who and that environment, it just works great. So yeah, really nice little story. With some crazy ideas. Thirdly, Frontier in Space, the kind of setup for Planet of the Daleks in a way. Basically, this is obviously sadly Roger Delgado's last appearance, which it wasn't meant to be, but sadly it is. And it is obviously got the Draconians, which are John Pertwee's favourite monsters. I mean, the Master's using this kind of mind-changing thing to make them look like the Draconians are tracking them, but obviously they're Ogrons, and later on the story realizes there's other people involved. Like it's all very manipulating thing. However, as me and Anne discussed the other day, this is basically I don't know how many times, but numerous times the Doctor gets locked up in jail. Like when that convention cliche kind of thing people say about it, like if you watch this story I can see why, because I know he kind of runs about, gets put back in jail. Like I think most or if not all the episodes, he gets put back into jail, which is quite fantastic. But it is probably my least favorite story of the season. There are some really great moments in it. Like episode 6 is absolutely like really cool Doctor Who like pinnacle stuff. Like I don't want to say who it is until like the end. Well, it's obviously the Daleks, but spoilers if you haven't watched it yet. But it's very much kind of quite a powerful kind of space opera. Yeah, what have you got anything to add on that, Adam? Or you want to talk about the story?
Yeah, it's most certainly a space opera as you would describe. Yes, I would say in regards to space, there is a lot of that at the beginning. But what I love is the concept of the master, tricking the Draconians and humans to think that they're attacking each other. I think it's a fiendishly masterly thing to do. And Delgado is tremendous. In this story, absolutely just nails it as usual. Like I don't think there's a story where I watch I think, oh, Delgado isn't on his A game, because he is truly dedicated to the role. Even and also Katie Manning describes him as like a sweet soul, and you kind of feel like sort of the nice people can absolutely flip it when they're in character and give off wonderful menace. I love one of the lines, and I believe you put it in the trailers. It's I want to see his fresh as earth burn, then exterminate him. As I say, he absolutely nails it. The look, and I think one of the best scenes in the story is when he's trying to hypnotize Joe. That scene was terrific, because Joe is, you can see how Joe's so loyal, how she's fighting against it, and at every single chance she beats him. It's terrific. It's a great one-on-one. And also a nice escape in episode, I think it's episode 4. I'm rambling. How there's some really good scenes. That the Doctor and Joe's plan to escape the jail by just sort of rambling about nonsense, that the Master sort of looking away, reading War of the Worlds, whilst they're like sort of trying to escape, and the Doctor trying to get out to the spaceship. Really, really cool. Even though there's a lot of sort of slightly repetitive at the beginning, I think as soon as the Delgado pops in, and you sort of really get to explore the themes of war, and how the two factions, sort of how wars begin, and sort of how they're sort of through. I think once you really sort of a couple episodes in, it does really get going, and I think the themes and sort of the deeper meaning and the performances, and I think just absolutely excel. It's one of the most fascinating episodes of Doctor Who I think I've ever seen. Just for really what they go for. And yes, it is a 6-7 part, and yes, it is sometimes a bit of a slog, but just what they sort of do in the story is tremendous. And it is like a monster mash. It's like you got the Ogrons, you got the Daleks, you got Draconians. I like sort of go to Draconian. I cannot say Draconian sort of high council with the Draconian like King PM, big honcho, and then that good set design as well, like nice set design and really cool. And it is a great lead into Planet of the Daleks. I do really like that it does end on a cliffhanger in like the final episode, because it hasn't really happened. Well, it sort of happens in the Hartnell era, when you sort of have it comes to the end of a story, but there's a cliffhanger as well. And also we had it. One of the more recent examples is Smile. Capaldi episode where they land in the next episode, or it sort of is a lead into the, they should do that more. And I think I guess they did that with The Woman Who Fell to Earth, but I think love to see more of that, where it kind of either ends as a lead to the next episode, or just just go cliffhangers, because love them.
Yeah, amazing. Like, yeah, it's a very ambitious story. The cliffhanger thing, yeah, kind of is a throwback, I guess, to kind of like the Hartnell stories, where it would kind of just flow as one whole thing. Like, there wouldn't be kind of like any space in between, which is quite a cool thing to do. Yeah, reading a few comments actually, because we've got a thing to say about the stories. Joshua says, "Hi guys, hello." Jack says, "What are your thoughts on the costume design, mainly for the show presenters in Carnival of Monsters?" Very 70s. very colourful 70s. I think is a very much a product of its time, that kind of thing. But it works in that kind of, obviously, this kind of bland world that they've designed, and have these like really two overly colourful people, just like sort of everybody's obviously stuck at their own backside aliens. Obviously, with these sort of I feel like politician inspired aliens. They're like, what is this? And obviously, it was great, sort of great colour. What do you think of their designs, Adam?
Yeah, they stand out absolutely, and I'd say even like performance-wise, they give it a good amount. It's a little bit of camp, but not too bad at all. I guess in a way you'd kind of mistake it for an 80s stories, the kind of
Yeah,
that kind of like entertainment sort of vibe, like a season 24 story.
yeah, that would fit perfectly in that, actually, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's very true. And yeah, David Who says, I agree with Adam on Frontier in Space. I think this is an underrated story. The story is an early version of Babylon 5. It also has a lot of characters in jail scenes, which are hilarious and very cleverly written. That's really nice. David has a big appreciation for that story, which is awesome to see. But it's all in setup for Planet of the Daleks, which is the epic six-part story. Yeah, obviously we watched this at the BFI, which is it's not a it wasn't a drag by any stretch, but I like the way they kind of structured it. Like you're going to kind of watch it in all one go in a way. Like I think it was like a 10-minute break, but watching it all as one big thing, you're immersed in this jungle, like the claustrophobia, all sort of little paths. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Dalek stories. I think, to be honest, I really do like it. Kind of goes back to Tony Nation's roots of the first Dalek story. Kind of coming back full circle with the files and that, which is really, really awesome. Yeah, it's got some great Dalek action in it. Uh, Joe gets some very decent stuff to do. I was watching the Third Man documentary. It was quite funny watching in the theatre with the guy trying to make her go back to Skara with him. Was kind of foreshadowing what happens to us in the next story where she leaves. Stuff like that. But yeah, like the Supreme Dalek, what a great design. He comes in the last part of the story and just takes control and obviously goes mad on another Dalek. Like it is really nice Dalek stuff in this story. Yeah, what do you think of the story, Adam?
Yes, so this is Terry Nation, giving us, blessing us with another Dalek story, and yeah, it's really cool. I think this season absolutely nails scope. Like the places we visit and the set design they do for a 70s show is it's impressive and it's immersive and is wonderful. And the jungle of Spyridon, as people now call it, I called it Spiridon for some reason.
Oh, really?
I have no idea why, but it's Spyridon. And the jungle really cool, really atmospheric, very much a throwback to the Daleks as well, because you have the thousand in here as well. There's a lot of, sort of nice visual throwbacks to that. The Daleks in there are wonderfully performed. I think probably one of my favorite Dalek voices ever sort of is a nice blend of Michael Wisher and Roy Skelton. Particularly the Supreme Dalek voice is it's amazing, because there are like Day of the Daleks didn't have the best Dalek voices. That's why for the special edition, of course, you have Nick Briggs come in for that. But for these are like on point Dalek voices. It's marvelous, and just seeing the Daleks be Daleks. The carpet creatures are cool. With the whispery voices. I can't believe I called them carpet creatures. You know what I mean?
That's what they are pretty much. Yeah, invisible carpet creatures.
Invisible carpet creatures. I'll call them that from now on. Also, like really nice action scenes when they're trying to like throw the Daleks in the lake. And really cool stuff when Pertwee gets hands on is really cool. I do love episode 1's cliffhanger where they use the cans of Lynx Africa to spray the invisible Dalek. Dalek. Just the way that Pertwee delivers it is beautiful. And shall we talk about I guess we could go talk about the updated special effects and sound and all that stuff.
I'll probably talk about that we were talking about special effects. That's
Oh right.
later
Oh
on,
extra. Oh, I got you. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
that's what I was kind of thinking. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
and then we could kind of discuss like what we can talk about now. Actually, do you feel they advanced the story like when you watched it in the?
Well, it's funny because I've not been as exposed to this story, so I don't feel like I'm not like, oh, you know, da. But like the
Yeah,
spaceship, I'd say is a nice improvement. I'd say like the spaceship landing, but it wasn't too bad in the original. And sort of certain shots. I think I remember you saying it in the video, and I think we sort of said it afterwards. Like it's probably the least amount that they've done. Like it's probably the
yeah,
less. The one is I don't feel like it's heavily redone. I love the ice sequences as well of the Daleks.
yeah.
The sort of new animations for that, because it is kind of in the original you do have that kind of, sort of still kind of sort of static kind of shot, but then there is kind of life into it. And when the ice floods in the end, it does look marvelous, new animation and stuff. So Rob Ritchie, that's wonderful, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if we sort of talk about it, like, it would be. I don't really have too much to sort of go on, but that's sort of basis of what I think of it, and I kind of look forward to sort of watching it at my own pace as well. Because we sort of watched it as three and then three. I probably do, I could face out whenever I want and sort of make a new judgment.
Yeah. So if I probably watched it, I probably watched it more spacious. But I was more immersed watching it actually as one long thing. Obviously, you had the break in between. Yeah. Special effects. Obviously, as Adam said, it's kind of less they've done on it so far with all of them. But what it does is it kind of adds to the scale of the story. As I said, this season is very ambitious. Obviously, it being the 10th anniversary season of the original show. But it is just absolutely mental what they do. Rob Ritchie, kudos to him. Like that was the most improvement for me. Was the kind of Dalek stuff, with it slowly being brought back to life, and also the when we obviously see the carpet creatures. There's some updated special effects for them when obviously when they originally filmed it, they're using green screen to pick up certain items. It makes it all look as floating. But they've actually created 3D models now, so I think that was really cool. But yeah, I think it has the scale of it. But they've done enough. I think there wasn't really much more room for improvement, but I think the stuff they've done kind of ticks the box to make it even more epic than it already is. But yeah, on to the final, another big scale and emotionally ending story, saying goodbye to obviously the Doctor and Katie, Doctor and Joe, sorry. That's the kind of blending of the characters going between each other. With the Green Death, which is most known apparently for the giant maggots. Which I don't know if they were a very popular monster back then, like, but a lot of people that on DVD documentaries described it as the one with the giant maggots. A story kind of talking about an issue which is obviously still relevant today, sadly, with climate change and how we're treating the planet, etc. For example, Exton did a really funny crazy video walking through a park. I don't know, you can watch on his Instagram. Have you seen that, Adam, on his Instagram page?
Yes, I have. And Mike, and he's back. The oncoming storm, man. Like, this is this beginning of this new Big Finish saga where he walks. It's the ninth Doctor, and he walks through random parks like I hope Miss Planet turns round, and
It was like, it's a very important issue, but the way, like, and I agree what he's saying, but the way he executed it is just like, oh goodness, like, really, he's very angry about it. The Ace Creeper, if you go to his YouTube channel, he's edited it and put it at the end of the Bad Wolf cliffhanger where he's speaking to Rose. You go on his YouTube channel, watch that. That's hilarious. But anyway, so obviously about the story about climate change, and the story is saying goodbye to Joe Grant, who for me is the third Doctor's companion. Like, it's like the fourth Doctor and Sarah. Eccleston and Rose, for example. Like those two are great chemistry on screen and off as well. You can see that. But yeah, so we obviously have a really emotional departure. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the story, Adam? As a whole, like the plot about the maggots and unit and
Yeah, it's I think it's interesting people talking about the current series about it's too politically correct and all that stuff, but of course we always knew that Doctor Who was like that. It really, has deeper meanings into pollution and ways of using for energy and all that kind of stuff. Oh, windmills and all that kind of thing, instead of using sort of alternative ways of converting energy and all that kind of thing. And I think Jo, at the beginning, you could tell she's so passionate and really just like she's like, he's fighting for everything you stood for, and you could tell that, because Jo started out, you can see she was quite clumsy and she's was very young and sort of I don't know, in a way sort of not like a young kid, but sort of very much sort of going off other people's accord, and then she kind of stands out and stands up to the fight, and really is just like, because she's like, oh, even if I resign from unit, like I'm gonna do this. She really sticks, she finds her own path and to go out and help with climate change and everything, and it's brilliant. And you could tell that even at the beginning, Pat was so heartbroken that she's kind of sort of sort of going, sort of leaving it away, just be like, I'm going to do this. But then, and also the Doctor's very set on returning to or going to Metabolus 3. It's a wonderful, like, and also those Metabolus 3 sequences are really, really cool. Just atmospheric and it's so cool. It's kind of like this mini adventure the Doctor's having. It's just that could be like a short film in itself. So the Doctor going to Metabolus 3 and then just coming back and say, oh, it didn't work out as well, because even in the phone, when he picks up the phone, he says, I'll talk to anybody. Oh, goodness gracious me, that was good grief to us all. That was really cool. Clifford Jones played Clifford Jones played by Stuart Bevan. Terrific, really nice supporting character, endearing, and you definitely tell that him and Katie Manning had a connection, and it's him all along. It's like, even though the King of Peladon, and also that character in Planet of the Daleks, they were trying to they kind of wanted to get to Jo, but it's him all along. It's the heart of gold that he has, and his passion to save the day. The villain in Boss is really cool. Love the voice, and also Stevens, that he's brilliant in this as well. And I like Mike's sort of duo kind of. He's undercover working for oh no working for something. You guys are going to shout in the comments, like the actual company.
Global Chemicals.
It was Global Chemicals. He's working for Global. Funny enough, I didn't Google it. I just remember it was like working for Global Chemicals. I can't believe that escaped my head. The kind of double cross thing is really cool. Love that. The Metabolus crystal, that's got some really cool sequences when of course Mike's under hypnosis, the Doctor gets him out of it, but the Brigadier is sort of falls for it as well. I love that. Amazing, cool comedy sequences, nice, serious, dramatic sequences. The sewage sequences, you kind of sort of crawl up. You kind of just like, when they're down the pipes, down the mines, and all that stuff, and the maggots kind of make you. It's one of those skin crawling moments that I think Doctor Who has those moments where you kind of just like, ooh, icky. Love it. Cool action. It's got scope. It's got maggots. It's got a great meaning behind it, an emotional payoff for Katie Manning's Jo Grant, which is fantastic, and it's the way to go. It's a perfect ending, like with no words, and you can tell it all in the face. The faces that in the expressions and everything. It's bittersweet and wonderful, and it leaves you like, oh my word. And and I feel, yes, it's kind of bittersweet and emotional, but it's one of those things. It's a happy thing. She's getting married. She's going off and having a life that, you know, she's so hungry for, and it's marvelous. And then it sort of leaves the Doctor with sadness, but also like a great deal of satisfaction, because he's taught her a lot, as John did to Katie as well. Like John taught Katie a lot, and that translates to Doctor teaching Joe, and it's kind of getting to a point where you sort of have to let go and become, move on. And it's kind of bittersweet, but it's happy for the both of them, and of course emotional at the same time. So it's one of those things. It's just like, it just leaves you so warm by the end.
Fantastic review, Adam. That was like so.
I just rambled. It's just like, I love this. I love
No,
this. I love
it's
this.
really good,
And I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. I think coming to the end of the season, I realised it's a wonderful season. It's one of my favorite. It's probably now one of my favorites in classic Doctor Who. Like a lot up there with some of the top. Yeah, I think it's a strong season. It's definitely. I can definitely see why they chose this to be the first one for Pertwee, because of course, this is the first John Pertwee season for Blu-ray. I'm kind of curious to know what they're going to do next. Whether it'll be season 11, I guess the first one with Elizabeth Sladen, or whether they'll, try and do season 7 and sort of clean that up. I'm sort of. I know we're going to talk about special features as well, but I'm just kind of curious as just like which season they could do next.
I think it depends on how much of the original stuff they've got. Like, obviously they've already done Spearhead from Space, because that was entirely done on film. But I see season 11 or season 11. I think maybe. Well, I think season 7 slightly more. But yeah, all of them. Hopefully, all of them. Nice to have a complete collection of the collection. Some great comments about the Green Death and season 11 in general. Season 10, sorry. Joe Burr says, "Hi guys, this is Pertwee's best season. You can clearly tell there's a lot of love that was put into this season. All the regulars are on top form, and this is by far the best anniversary season we've had yet." Basically, pretty much, yeah. David Hughes says, "The Green Death, Maggots, Wales, Unit, Romance. It's a fantastic finale. Yeah, it's probably the first proper finale for Doctor Who, I think, in terms of like modern series wise." And he goes on to say, probably the most modern of the classic series in terms of characterization. Yeah, it's this really great pace in the first part, comedy and pace, and yeah, it's really good. Beautiful acting from Pertwee at the end. Both of them say, like, it's so heartbreaking to see, like, they don't say anything, but just by looks, it's just such a heartwarming but heartbreaking at the same time. It's one of my favorite companion exits after watching it again. He also goes on to say, with the death of Roger Delgado and the departure of Katie Manning, I can understand why John Poe might not have wanted to take part in season 11. There's a few different stories I heard. Like, I think one version I was like, obviously asking for money, and they said no. But I think it was down to kind of like him just obviously his passing of Roger, which he was good friends with, and Patrick Katie and Unit kind of sort of coming back, and people on the scenes changing. So yeah, I can understand why. I'd say as an anniversary season, it is epic. It is the definition of epic this season. It's so, as Adam said, it's so ambitious. It's the scale of it. Each story is just absolutely crazy, and that's what I love about Doctor Who, especially in the classic era, where you've got so much ambition and love and epicness, and obviously on this tight budget, but that allows them to be more creative. But still, in the writing's on point. Yeah, it's just characters you love, and really, just really amazing season as a whole. Yeah, like Adam, if you could summarize your thoughts on the episodes and the season as a whole.
Oh goodness me, season 10, the perfect Doctor Who birthday treat. The writers absolutely knocked it out the park in terms of an absolute good blend of sci-fi, space opera, romance, Wales, and also just a bit of, you know, sci-fi madness, you know, and allegories of war, as well as just, yeah, sci-fi, yeah, wonderful stuff. Encapsulated by some incredible performances from some Doctor Who legends: John Pertwee, Patrick Troughton, William Hartnell, Nicholas Courtney, Katie Manning, John Levine, Richard Franklin, Stuart Bevan, Michael Wisher's in there too, of course, Roger Delgado. Yeah, just incredible. The sets and the immersion that immerse you into 70s sci-fi is sort of, it's real up there with some of the great sort of 70s seasons. I love this. I just love the 70s in terms of, you know, the kind of the writers they got and the stories they told, and what, you know, the deeper meanings behind them all as well. And Bessie is in there just a bit. You know, I love a bit of Bessie. Just I honestly, and also Keep Up with Jones, just like, I want Bessie. Just like, if I could try, you have your BMWs, you have your Ford Fiestas. All I want is Bessie, man. Especially the honk, the noise and everything. Yep. Pure 70s. Absolutely adore this season. It's the perfect summary of Doctor Who, and I would say, dare I say it, if you were trying to get someone into Classic Who, show them any story from season 10. Probably apart from Planet, because, you know, it leads from Frontier. Any story. Green Death. It's got a lot. It's got so much, you know, because Doctor Who, you can summarize as many different kind of genres. It tackles, like, you can have action, you can have horror, thriller, you can have romance, you can have adventure, all that kind of stuff. And season 10 is a perfect encapsulation of that. So whether you show the Three Doctors or Green Death or Carnival of Monsters, you know, whatever, just like it's perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect jumping on point. People might think I'm mad because it's the 10th anniversary season. There's lots of continuity references and all that, and, you know, stuff that could go over their heads. But also, like, you got, you know, so I think enough story and enough character for things for people to enjoy as well. So go buy Doctor Who the Collection season 10. Buy it. I just go buy it. If you haven't already, or if you've not seen any of these stories, what are you doing? Stop this live stream, go watch the whole thing, and then come back. Because, oh my god, season 10, marvelous.
Wowzer. And Jack says in the comments, season 10 equals amazing. Yeah, I think you're right. Even though it is a very, I wouldn't say continuity heavy, but I think apart from Frontier in Space, probably, like, this is a great season. Like, if you're a new series fan, to actually watch these stories. Obviously, Green Death is kind of the most familiar to, like, a new series audience. Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, like, you get introduced to the first Three Doctors through the Three Doctors, absolutely crazy. Carnival of Monsters, only little sandwich. Yeah, if you get a chance, please buy the new Blu-ray. I can't wait to get more of these, but this is an epic season that if you're a Doctor Who fan, you just need to watch. You need to watch these stories, man. So yeah, now onto the special features. Obviously, a lot have been transferred from the previous releases. We're going to be highlighting the new ones. So we got the Behind the Sofa, which has two sofas this time. So first sofa we have Katie Manning, John Levine, and Richard Franklin. And then we have the writers from Series 11 for The Witchfinders and Kablam, Pete McTee and Joy Wilkinson, I think. I'm not too sure about that one. But, and also Phil Collins, who was a producer on the David Tennant and Eccleston series with Russell T Davies. So yeah, this is a really, really fun watch. I watched bits of the story, but I watched all these because I've seen the stories before. But I love watching these. It's mainly watching it with a commentary track, like the edited highlights with the cast, and also fans as well, which is great to have that kind of cast and fan perspective. Both sides really great chemistry. It was really quite actually to see Phil Collinson and the Series 11 writers actually kind of have this comparison thing of, like, what was it like working on Series 1 of the new series, and also what was it like working on Series 11. And there's this great kind of thing of being like, oh, this is what I did. And you get to see that fan joy. You get to see them kind of had this really nice reaction to the show. And of course, the cast is really beautiful to watch. It's really hard. I did get a love for a throat when I watched the last one, The Green Death, and they kind of all know that final scene's coming with the Doctor and Joe. But yeah, do you have any highlights from the behind the sofa stuff, Adam?
Yeah. If we were to go back to Three Doctors, it's nice to just sort of see them, reflect on sort of old, like people who are no longer with them, like, say, oh,
yeah,
how fun it was to work with Patrick Troughton and Roger Delgado and Nicholas Courtney and sharing their fond memories on set and everything like that. There's some bittersweet sort of remembrance there, and the celebration of the actors and the characters that they portrayed. It's absolutely marvelous. As well as, like, of course, the reaction to Joe's exit is, that's excellent as well, and you can tell that they're all getting welled up and absolutely emotional. But that's all good. I love that John Levine at the end sort of did a thank you. May see you at the next convention. That's all quite cool. It's so I will admit, look, Richard Franken's a really lovely guy. He was a bit quiet during some of the behind the sofas. Yeah, but he's really whenever he does chip in, it's lovely, because he does give some nice anecdotes throughout the five we got, and it's quite weird because, of course, season 12 we got 5, and this one we're sort of down to 5, because like the last one we've had like 7, 8 stories or something like that, as well as like K9 Company. It was just like we've had like some bumper ones, and then we sort of had sort of short seasons. And I know we're trying to have a timeline, we're basically just going to get 4. So it's cool. And I'm because like there I think like with Pete McTeague and Phil Collinson, I think it's clear that they sort of had very early memories, whether it's VHS or maybe I think even watched it when they were first broadcast.
Right.
And then I think Joy Wilkerson is a Doctor Who fan, but I think she's fairly new to it in a way. I don't know. I think she might have seen something. I'm not 100% sure. But it was quite a nice balance of sort of Doctor Who memories. One that stuck in my mind was like Phil Collinson going to see John Pertwee in like a Doctor Who production, and then like just say, "Oh, I'm not signing," but sort of got her through the car. There's some really nice, cool stories, like of the generation who were in it, like of Katie, John, and Richard, and the generation who watched it and got influenced to write Kablam, Witchfinders, some Series 11 stories. Also, like some, because Pete McTeague also wrote like the classic Who's kind of content, like wrote the Teak and Javanka Airlines thing, the glitter package thing that Tom did, and the Joe Grant thing is along before that. It was just intriguing. It's a great, cut back and forth between the two sofas, wonderfully done. I'd love to see those guys again for future seasons, whether it's even the Pertwee season as well for the other sofa. We'll just see. I'm not gonna. I've just had like ideas of who I'd like to see in the next. I'd quite like to see Katie Manning sat alongside Peter Capaldi on the behind the sofa. And another one is the Sarah Jane Adventures kids on the Sarah Jane seasons, like season 11 or 13.
Yeah, I think we talked about before. That would be amazing. Like, because I'm sure they've seen clips for stuff, but I wouldn't know if they've actually seen their stories.
Yeah.
So that'd be amazing to a nice kind of full circle thing with that, which would be really cool. Peter Capaldi and that would be like,
because he's quite the Pertwee fanboy.
He really is.
He had the Planet of the Daleks jacket in the TARDIS in Twice Upon a Time, I believe, like hanging up. And I saw what I thought. I think, and also because he's quite a fan of sort of the earlier Doctor Who's. I think it'd be quite interesting to see him on there and some other people, because I think they're kind of experimenting of different people they can kind of get. Like, not, of course, you can get people who are involved in it or probably involved in that sort of era or /season, but you do get sort of the more obscure, the more like, oh, that's interesting. Like, oh, but getting this person taking it, I think Capaldi's, getting him would be, I think that'd be quite marvelous, because he is quite, the fanboy of that kind of era.
Yeah, I think, as I say, there's so many similarities to his Doctor and the third Doctor. So that'd be quite a nice continuation of. I think Joe would probably see. Obviously, she met as Matt's first Doctor, but you'd kind of like she'd be saying, "Oh my God, this is the Doctor." Like, it'd be quite funny. Yeah, the next documentary I want to talk about is Looking for Lenny, which is about the director of the story, and it has these. That it isn't much known about him, like at all. And at the beginning of the documentary, you get Toby Haddock, and basically know that he died sadly in a boat accident, quite sadly, in like late 1970s, something like that. And you go through this documentary done in bits and bits, kind of going backwards in time, meeting certain people, which I won't discuss because I know Chris Chapman said about on Twitter, like there are a few nice cameo interviews in this, which put a smile on my face anyway. Some really great surprise ones. But no, yeah, it was a really amazing story. The life that this man led, like, was absolutely crazy. But you got to find out through his friends and other people like that he worked with, and family members as well. Yeah, it was just a really beautiful document. What did you think about it, Adam? Were you taken back by it?
No, yeah, absolutely, because he's a character. He's a director.
Okay,
You don't know the full picture. You don't get the full picture, and you really fill in the gaps of his upbringing, what he was like. You know, him taking dance classes and sort of growing up in theatre and all that kind of stuff. And it's very fascinating, interesting stuff. And they got the right sort of people, go back to family and people who worked with him. There's a good selection and some wonderful interviews. Of course, we won't say who is in there, of course, for the respect of the audience and that. But Toby Haydock, absolutely explores the subject really well and gives us facts that we don't really know, his wife being in what was it, Monster Peladon and The Hand of Fear, and I don't. There's a fact. I don't know if I want to give it away.
Right.
At the end of The Hand of Fear.
Oh yeah, it's his whistle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, viewers.
Yeah, that was a kind of. Was that new from it? I don't know if that was
I never knew that. I never knew that.
I did.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But yeah, a lot. His wife featured in pretty much all his stories, I think. But yeah, really amazing story. And I say the least you know, the better, because it's kind of like the magic of it, really. Sort of self-discovery. We have a few comments now. Joe Bowers says, I think season 7 will probably be the last set to release due to how many episodes you need to restore. However, John Levine is only surviving regulars that may try to release it soon. Got a doubt way to look at it. Yeah, I think season 10 is the only story which has like all the original like film takes for them. So I think that's the reason why they've done it. Jake, hi Jake. Season 10 is a fantastic season. Joe's exit always makes me cry. Yeah, it's really most emotional stuff. Joe says again, they should try and get more of the new Who actors like David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Matt Lucas, etc. in the behind the scenes extras, especially doing new Who sets later down the line. Yeah, I reckon it'd be quite cool to see that. In a weird way, I would kind of want it to be the kind of same time frame. Like, obviously, just now buying all this. Well, I am anyway. The series, new series Steelbooks. But I feel like it would kind of need to be 20, 30 years later, where a considerable amount of time's gone by, and they can kind of look back at it in sort of really sort of stepping back from it completely, and have that kind of nostalgia for it. So I think that's the way it would work with that. Yeah, as I say, there's a lot of different stuff that's already been on the special features ready for previous DVD releases. For episode 2, we've got alternative titles because they actually did this new piece of music for the intro, and they didn't like it. A lot of people, it was quite bad. So it's quite unique. It's like it's very upbeat. But it didn't go down well. But they leaked it in Australia. Like when they released it in Australia, that audience, they put it with that title music. So there is a version out there, and they put on the box set, so you can listen to that. And there's also a nice Roger Delgado tribute on the Frontier in Space one, which is on the previous one, but it's his wife talking about his life, and yeah, really, really horrible to see her go through, like reliving the memories of how she got told. Yeah, really sad. The other two new ones, we've got Keep Up the Joneses, which is Katie Manning and her husband driving around in Bessie, speaking to people who were there when they were filming it. Like speak to people that were school kids at the time, and now like in their 40s and 50s. Yeah, this is just really great stuff. Really hard. What was your favourite moments from the Keep Up with the Joneses stuff, Adam? I know you like the car. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, just I think it's quite cool to see Katie's reactions. Like, oh my god, Bessie, a nice reunion there. I just like them going to the pub and hearing, you know,
yeah.
all the stories about when they filmed there. I think it's really nice. Something laid back, something more casual. It's of course it's sort of led by them as well. It's sort of Katie and Stuart really driving it. It's a lovely bittersweet moment. They're sort of back at the hotel and they're sort of reflecting on their relationship together, and it's so
Nice moment,
it's really like, oh, it's so lovely. There's something so human about these documentaries that of course they're Doctor Who related, but are so they're just, you know, but also so human and so like, you know, like just like it gets you the emotions.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how much of a nerd you are, you'll probably feel emotional.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to convey. Like, yeah, it is really powerful, and there's so much love and thought going into it. Like, Chris Chapman and the team behind, with all the stuff that do all these new special features. Because for me, like, obviously, it's great to have like the new updated episodes and all the other stuff. But for me, one of the main incentives, and I really look forward to, is watching like the behind the sofas and all the new documentaries that Chris Chapman and a handful of other people do. Like with Keanu Joneses, he's pretty much a one-man band. Like he's just following them around. He set up all the cameras, like they planned it all, etc. And yeah, just a lot of love and care going into it. And just like I say, as a fan, it really makes the heart warm up, and it's just so nostalgic for that era. And yeah, really, really nice documentary. Really love it. Again, yeah, Luke, obviously at the end they kind of go to the pub and speak to loads of different people, like, and it's a real nice reflection on how time passes, and a look on life. It's very thought provoking, I thought, anyway. Like, again, it was kind of like a double whammy of like watching them behind the sofa green death, like them getting emotional, and then seeing them all like in the pub and speaking to people. Like there's like a woman there, and like there's a picture of her as a baby, which Katie Manning's holding, and she's like there. Then it's like absolutely mental how time goes so quickly. Like it's really, really thought provoking, I thought. And finally, the new one, which on the bonus disc, is Doctor and the Third Man, which is a whole retrospect on the Third Doctor. It's an hour and a half long. You've got interviews with Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss, Katie Manning, Barry Letts, Terrence Dix, and it's presented by the brilliant Matthew Sweet, who's really got away with words. Like I feel like he's like a dictionary of really creative words when he speaks. It's like, wow, I've never heard that word before. But no, yeah, I thought it was really good. New look at his era. Stuff, new information, and it was great to hear Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss talk about it, because you can tell they have such a great love for that show, and you can tell a lot of inspiration from that series has gone into New Who, which is fantastic to see. But yeah, is there any favourite moments for you, Adam, from the Doctor and the Third Man documentary?
I definitely say him and Katie Manning are brilliant, because I love how Katie said, "Oh, John sort of took us under our cloak and taught us a lot, and was kind of the leader." How both of them were very new to like John, of course, had experience, but was very new to that kind of method of working, as was Katie, because she had done a few things and that. So, sort of hearing that, it's nice having Steve and Mark reflect on their memories of the era. It's quite nice. Also comparing it to sort of other sort of science fiction time, I think they compared it. They did a bit of like Quatermass and all that kind of Hammer horror kind of influences, because they kind of grew up in that kind of sort of era of entertainment, of pop culture entertainment as well. So it's quite nice hearing them, along with Barry and Terrence, who, you know, of course, was archive interviews, very well edited in, and really is, of course, for an hour and a half, is a very much deconstruction of the entire sort of run. Really goes into sort of how it was for season 7 and it was season 11 and everything in between, and is quite nice. It's a very nice thing to see.
Yeah, it's really lovely. A few honorable mentions from the bonus disc. The Death of the Doctor, which was already on the Green Death DVD. But this is, I think, the first time the Sarah J images has been put onto Blu-ray. I don't think they are on Blu-ray. I think they're just on standard DVD. So nicely upscaled Sarah J images. But yeah, her and Katie Manning, Katie Manning and Rusty Davis, a great duo, and I think they've actually done one as well for the Green Death, which I've yet to watch. And the Panopticon Archive, which was appearance at the 1993 convention, which was absolutely brilliant. I really loved it. And like Nicholas Courtney, like, and he turns up for the last 5 minutes. He turns up and they're like, "Oh, we've got to wrap it up now." It's quite funny. So it really is like kind of just John Pope and Katie Manning. That was really, really funny. Like, it was quite cool to see Katie Manning, like, how she's not changed whatsoever. That's fantastic. Like, she was exactly the same energy she was on that kind of talk in 1993 as going to the season 10 BFI screen for Planet. Really, really lovely stuff. So yeah, I think that's all the kind of new special features covered. So yeah, overall, like, as a whole, this box set is just a must, really. If you love the John Pertwee era, get it, because they obviously got the best. Basically, season 10 is probably the best Pertwee season. Maybe I think it has took that title generally as a whole. The special features that come with are absolutely amazing. There's some really new love letters to the people who work on the show, and that season, and certain stories. The new special effects Planet Daleks are really great to add more epicness to the story. And yeah, it's just brilliant, absolutely lovely, really nice, reliving this era of Doctor Who, and to have it in glorious HD. Who couldn't say no? Adam, what are your thoughts overall on this box set?
This box set, oh my word! Oh my word! Yes, marvelous, absolutely marvelous box set full of incredible special features and documentaries, hosted by the wonderful Matthew Sweet and Toby Haydrick. Absolutely wonderful. We now know that Matthew Sweet is now the new Mr. Wordsworth. You know, just absolutely brilliantly curated, and just wonderful to see these stories again. It is also in a new light if you turn to Planet of the Daleks with the new updated special effects. Nice to revisit them, along with some, and also like a couple of the. I think like a few of them already had like special editions. There's a lot of sort of new content, but also content that was not on there before, but also some content. I guess, you know, it's nice to revisit some of the special features, because there's some really nice special features before, and it's nice to have them on there. I think that's kind of the beauty of the fact that we have these things. They don't kind of just have new special features or just have the old special features. They have old and new stuff. So in like the collector in me is just like, oh, absolutely, or anyone, you know, is it worth it? Because I've already seen all the special features, and it's just like new stuff. But you know, I want to sort of also revisit the old special features. You have everything, you have absolutely everything in there, and that's the beauty of the whole range. Anything else? I don't know. Lee Binding and Jonathan Pickard, wonderful illustrations and artwork and everything wonderful. You know, you create box sets where I want to spend a day from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening just staring at the box set and just marveling at it. It's a wonderful collector's piece, and I don't know what else can I say, but incredible work from Chris Chapman, Toby Haydock, Matthew Sweet, Lee Binding, Jonathan Pickard, anyone who's a runner or editor on any of the special features, just absolutely anyone, everyone. You could tell that this is an absolute labour of love for Doctor Who, and you should all get a packet of jelly babies, or what does we eat, like bourbons or something? Oh, Gorgonzola.
That's it. Yeah, I was thinking, you think, yeah, does he playing in the season? Like, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, all like Lee Binding, Marquez, Chris Chapman, everybody involved, on screen and off. It is just a real love letter to this era of the show, and I feel like kind of like a thank you letter to this season, because I think a lot of people got into this season through the 90s through repeats of like the Green Death and the Daleks and the Three Doctors and that stuff. So for a lot of people, this is kind of the first introduction into Doctor Who. So, and I feel with this one is an extra special one, because there is a lot of sort of personal investment from the people behind the scenes. So yeah, there we go. That's our mega nearly hour and a half season 10 review. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of the box set. Have you got your copy yet? What's your favourite stories and moments? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you to Adam for joining me for this epic live stream. I think we've covered everything. So usually we do. We go on these rambling great stuff, but yeah, it's really nice to kind of talk about such a great season and an even epic box set, you know. So yeah, as always, guys and girls, please comment, like, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Again, thank you to Daniel Behovian for joining.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, mate. Link to his channel in the description below. Also follow him on Twitter, where he has some hilarious tweets. Like, I think that's Twitter's where it's at the minute for Doctor Who stuff. Quick little drop actually. So yesterday I uploaded a video where I got a huge box from Hero Collector full of Doctor Who stuff. I got well, you can watch the video to see what the stuff was before I reveal what they are. But if you go on their website, Hero Collector, I think it's shop.egomos.com. You can go on there, and any Doctor Who stuff you order, if you use the unique code Forever97, you're gonna guess, you can get 10% off all Doctor Who items on that store. So yeah, so if you look for anything, they got New Ranger t-shirts on there. They got all the Egomos figurines. So if any of you want any of that stuff, use that code. It's called Forever97. That's obviously part of the channel name. All that great stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a review for Scratchman, which I just finished reading. Which I feel like behind it. When did you finish Scratchman, Adam?
Oh, it would have been I think around the Easter time.
Was it? Yeah, because I just finished it the other day. I feel so behind, like, but I will be doing a review on that this week, so look out for that maybe Friday. Pretty cool. We've got a few comments now. Great review, guys. Thank you, Jack. Philip says, "Oh, look like I missed the stream. Sorry, I was recording the video myself." Oh, look forward to that video, Philip. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, hope you can go back and watch our review. It's a long one. And I was thinking of doing like an editor type video, but I feel it really needs to, like, I love doing these discussions with Adam. He had so much to the review stuff, like, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I really enjoyed discussing it with you and you watching at home. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the live stream tonight. Thank you everyone for watching and commenting and interacting. This is all for everybody watching at home. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you for the next one. I don't know what that will be. We're in the kind of void of Doctor Who until season 12 starts picking up, but hopefully soon. But for now, we have the amazing collection.
I was going to say, we could end it on, we're in the void where we don't have season 12, but don't worry, you can pick up and watch season 12 on Blu-ray.
Get your John Perry goodness at all good retailers. As those guys and girls, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Goodbye. Bye bye.
Evening, chaps.